This short video shows you how to set up your survey line and pick a control site when using Checking for Change, a practical guide to checking whether sites newly managed for conservation are on track to improve. Now what you see behind me is the site being newly managed for conservation. I'm not standing at the edge of it. I've come in at least sort of 50 meters from the edge and decided that this is a good spot to start my survey line. When you look behind me, you can see that the site is a mixture of grassy areas with some scattered tree cover and quite a bit of regeneration happening. When I pick my survey line, I want to make sure I capture that whole character of the site. So if I were to run my survey line directly through this open area here, I wouldn't really capture the scattered tree cover enough. And if I were to run my survey line directly under all of the trees on the site, I wouldn't capture the open areas quite enough. So what I'm going to do is run my survey line in a direction that goes directly under that first tree and that captures a bunch of that regeneration happening. So I have a mixture of tree cover, regeneration, and open areas. Now what I want my survey line to be is about 50 meters long. Rather than measuring it in detail, I know that if I stretch a pace of mine just a little bit, that's about 1 meter. So what I'm going to do is take 50 long paces in a very straight line to make my survey line. I've hammered in my star picket at the start so that that will always be there. I can come back to that in future years and know where my site is. Just so I can see the start line, I'm going to put a colored flag here for right now. And now I'm going to take my 50 paces to mark the end of my survey line. Come with me. All right, I'm picking a spot straight ahead and I'm going to walk 50 paces in a very straight line. Even though I have to go over some logs, and even though I need to go straight through the regeneration, I'm keeping a very straight line. That's it. So I'll hammer in my star picket here to mark the end of my survey line, put another colored flag, just so that I can see it from a distance. And that will be the survey line that I'll use each year. Now I need to set up the same sort of survey line in a control site, one that's not being managed for conservation and is continuing to be managed for production. But I want it to have about the same character as this site. So if you look over in that direction, you can see a similar density of scattered trees. That's an area that's continuing to be managed for production that would be good to set up my control site survey line. Whereas looking in this direction, you see an area that's much more densely wooded. So I would not choose that as my control site, even though it might be continuing to be managed for production. Once I hammer in my star pickets and do the same thing as I've done here over in my control site, I'm ready to check for change.